Thanks, it's great being here.
Thank you so much, Nirav. And
Thanks.
we'll actually stay in the valley. And I'm expecting my good old buddy and journalist colleague, Jean-Baptiste. JB, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Let me appear.
Hi, JB.
Hello.
Great to see you.
Likewise. Let me see
Likewise.
if I.
We just had Nirav. We just had a call from San Francisco. You are in Los Gatos today?
San Jose.
San Jose. Great
San
to
Jose.
connect.
Despite there's no the bridge is in San Francisco, but I'm actually in San Jose. This is the beauty of the metaverse that we are building.
Amazing. We'll just wait for Wolfgang, for our co-moderator. So, JB, great to connect. You're a journalist and analyst with Atherton Research, and you also work for Forbes magazine. You've been a long-term journalist and correspondent in the Valley. So, and I think I remember a couple of years ago, you were the most connected person in Silicon Valley on LinkedIn. You still are, or?
Well, it was when LinkedIn was founded, and yes, I knew the founders. So we and others were quickly linked. But now Silicon Valley, we grew. Despite a lot of people leaving Silicon Valley because of the pandemic, Silicon Valley actually grew in a number of people. So no, there are people who are much more connected than me. But that's good. That's a good thing. Competition is good.
And you mentioned LinkedIn and the LinkedIn founders. I remember the two of us, you and me, we went there to talk to Konstantin, another fellow German, remember? And his photographs from back then are still circulating today. And I remember we were interviewing him together. So maybe just a quick short story that we share. So, but today we have a Greentech conference, and my co-host Wolfgang, he disappeared, but we'll do it. Just you and me. So JB, we'll talk about Greentech. We had a conference. This was our kickoff for this kind of event. We'll see a bunch more in that area. And I want to talk with you about Greentech and clean technology, and towards technology from Europe. We always look towards the Valley. And so I want to hear a few things from you regarding, let's say, besides the Tesla story, what are the big solar, the big wind energy stories? We talked to Matthias Honse, another journalist fellow friend. Yesterday, he gave us a bunch of insights on the political area and on the business side. So maybe give us an update what you see in big trends in clean tech in the Valley, and what impulses, since you're from France originally, yeah. So what can we learn from the US in terms of clean tech, electromobility?
Yeah, and it's actually interesting that you only mentioned Tesla as an example of clean tech from Silicon Valley, and the reason is that most of the other startups that started with Tesla in the what I will call clean tech 1.0, they just went bankrupt. And just to set a little perspective and context, really, clean tech in Silicon Valley became a reality after Al Gore's documentary, The Inconvenient Truth, in 2006. So 2006 was the beginning of the Cleantech bubble in Silicon Valley. And as you might remember, it was billions of dollars of invested. Obama invested as well when he was president. And actually, Obama saved a lot of those clean tech companies, at least for that time, and including Tesla. So that almost went bankrupt, and if it was not saved by Obama. Unfortunately, all the others, the Solyndra, all the solar panels, and they all went bankrupt. And the reason is that Silicon Valley is good as especially good as one thing. It's software, and hardware. Well, hardware is hard, and number two, it requires a lot of capital, and the Silicon Valley mentality is really what, move fast, break things, and having this quick reward. But with Cleantech, that doesn't work like this. It's a much longer time spent. It's not the 3-5 years and then you get your money back, or you have lots of profits. No, it takes 10-20 years. And so the model of Silicon Valley was just not working for the Cleantech sector. That's why Cleantech 1.0 failed, and it failed also because with a country like China started building solar panels, batteries, and very, very inexpensively, and just destroyed the market. So Silicon Valley did what it does best. It pivoted. It pivoted from, we're going to build stuff, hardware, and we're going to go back to our software roots. So that's why, the only one that really survived is Tesla, and that's because really of Elon Musk stamina, and he was just going to go all the way. He personally was bankrupt. Tesla was going to be bankrupt. So, but he just continued, and that's really the Silicon Valley spirit, but not a lot. But he was one of the few. So what happened with Cleantech after Cleantech 1.0 in Silicon Valley, we came to this second episode after a few years, because basically $25 billion were invested. 25 billion from 2006 to 2011. That wasn't what was invested in Cleantech in Silicon Valley, and half was gone, lost. The other was just basically Tesla. So with that, what we did is we pivoted back to our software, and so that's why you started having today startups in doing software management, so having SaaS, software as a service, online platforms to manage energy distribution, to do drone deliveries. This is some of the companies that so for example, just to name a few, Matternet is a startup here in Menlo Park, doing drone deliveries. They don't build the drones, they don't build the any facilities, but it's basically Uber for drones. So that's where we're very good. We're good at software, we're good at apps, we're good at online platforms, and that's where Cleantech is in Silicon Valley. So Cleantech 2.0, it's we're focusing on this, and leave all the heavy investment in, let's say, creating nuclear power stations, pipelines, and leave it to others. What we're going to do is going to manage all this.
But this is a very smart approach, because software scales a lot easier than hardware. Is that one of the reasons also why there was never, let's say, some kind of invention or some kind of real innovation in that field from the Valley? And manufacturing in terms of solar panels, etc., is not a Silicon Valley thing, as you said. It's just about the software and the brains behind these kinds of services, as you mentioned, Matternet, for example.
Yeah, and really you have to separate the manufacturing between consumer products and industrial. And what we thought was, well, we know how to do consumer products, Apple and so on. We know how to do chips, Intel and AMD and NVIDIA. So we thought, oh, well, we're good at consumer hardware. So we're good at hardware. We're good at chips that goes into the hardware, and we're good at software. So how hard can Cleantech be? We have everything in our hands, and we can do it. And we just forgot that industrial products are much harder to do, much more regulations, and also requires much more capital. And we're a very capitalist economy here in Silicon Valley, and we look at, well, what's the return? I'm going to invest one in hardware, building solar panels or even solar farms. So I'm going to invest $1 in here and going to go back maybe 2 in 20 years. And here I'm building a video game app for 1/10 of the price, and it's going to make me almost an instant return. So at the end, obviously, the software and the easy money won. And it was also very, very difficult to compete with China. I mean, even in Germany, I mean, you're buying Chinese solar panels.
Of course. So we had a solar valley in eastern Germany, and I don't really know what's happening there. There's still a sign on the Autobahn that actually is an exit, but I've never been there, and it's a devastating story, actually. So to come back to your comment in terms of like the valley is of course a very capitalistic arena. People follow the money, and do they have but it's a very conscious state, California, and it's one of the, let's say, on both sides there's like very open-minded communities on the East Coast and on the West Coast, of course. So but don't people see the necessity that things need to be turned around in terms of climate change and in terms of what we see in energy? Look at what's happening in the Ukraine and Russia. I'm sure you follow this very close as we do. So is it just about the money? And again, the question, don't people just see the necessity? We need to do something?
Yeah. So and to be fair, I mean, we're here in Silicon Valley. Yes, of course, money is important. Just because you need capital to build things, and there's tons of things that need to be built or rebuilt. So you need lots of capital, and it's not just Cleantech. I mean, we're here at Silicon Valley. We're investing a lot in software, obviously, and online, and look at what Facebook is investing in AR, VR with metaverse, tens of billions of dollars. We're investing in chip, semiconductor. Just look what Intel said that it's investing about, again, tens of billions of dollars in building new chip factories. So yes, it's about the money, and also it's about pragmatism. And I think in Germany, you're very well familiar with this. We are very pragmatic. If we see that, let's say, a company in China can build a very inexpensive, let's say, solar panel or turbine, much cheaper than in Germany, and why not use it? And why reinventing the wheel? The other thing that really, I think it was a very, after the failure of Cleantech 1.0, there was really a change of mind here in Silicon Valley, where what we want to do, we want to disrupt. We're looking for breakthrough technology and products. We just want to change the world, and we realize that with Cleantech, you can't do that really, and you have to be more incremental. And so it's not about, okay, we're going to, let's say 50% coal energy. We're going to replace this by solar and wind overnight. And we're just going to have huge solar farms in the south of California, in the desert, and that it would power the whole United States.
It would be an amazing idea, actually, but it's not happening.
Well, it was the idea at Cleantech 1.0. It was the idea. We had those solar farms. I mean, we calculated, okay, you need that much of space, that many solar panel in the desert in California and Nevada, and to power the whole United States. And it's true, we could. Well, there was one problem. The transmission lines. How do you transmit that much power in like very old transmission lines that have been causing fires in California for the past decades? So, I mean, obviously, people didn't really think, we were dreamers. I mean, that's what Silicon Valley does. You dream of something and just you try to make it happen. Well, in the case of Cleantech, it didn't work. So now we're back. We're much more pragmatic. We're good in software and apps. We're going to do that first. And when we're creating, like, there's a company that we've been looking at. It's called Mainspring. They're building a power generator to power factories, and so they're now it's a much focused, and it's not like a crazy technology. It's something, it's an improvement over an existing technology created by two Stanford students. And so that's where we are right now. And one last thing, I think that also changed from Cleantech 1.0 in 2006, 2011. It's the availability. There are much more. There's just much more money available for clean and others, but clean tech startups and clean tech ideas through what we call SPACs. So those are special vehicles, investment vehicle that were so very popular in the past 2 years during the pandemic, and allowed investors to raise money from the capital markets, from the stock exchange, from individual investor. So they raise billions of dollars and are using this money to invest in clean tech. Other areas, of course, but clean tech. There are several funds, Khosla, for example, Khosla Ventures, who before. So what's changed is that before, when you investors, when they were raising money to invest in clean tech startups, they have to ask, let's say, to buyer, give me some money. Schneider, give me some money. Siemens and if we're not very famous, well, nobody's going to give you money to invest in especially in it's very risky. But now they don't have to do this. Well, they can, they still can, but now they're using also another avenue to raise billions of dollars. So that also is going to boost the development of clean tech startups going forward.
What about the academic field? Because you mentioned Stanford earlier on, and we all know there's Stanford, there's Berkeley. There's a lot of really bright minds out there, and all those, and basically all the ingredients for, let's say, for innovative products in that field are there. There's the money, there's the spirit. People are conscious, and they're eco-friendly in a specific way, as long as it doesn't cost too much. So overall, I'm trying to understand. So we failed with Cleantech 1.0. Now we are in this middle of Cleantech 2.0, and there is just basically Tesla, and there's not so much else going on. Is that the state of mind that the state of California, or let's say that the Valley especially is?
No, there's I won't say there's nothing much else than Tesla. I mean, there are lots of small startups. I mean, I mentioned Mainspring. I've noted several others like Lilac in Oakland. They're doing lithium extraction, so you can and then use for batteries. Antora energy storage, and all those, basically all those startups that are reusing, building blocks and just making it more efficient. So in the case of Antora with energy storage, so obviously you have solar, but during the night there's no solar power. So they're storing. Yeah, even in California, no solar power at night. We're working on it, but and these technology advances were coming from China because they were so advanced in terms of battery technology, and so we're just using that. I mean, Tesla even using Panasonic batteries, so advances in Japan, in China, in Korea. So we're using it, making it more efficient. So I won't say there's things. People are working on a lot of projects and ideas. In terms of fundamental research, basically, again, it's how do you attract those brilliant minds, and how do you then distribute those brilliant minds on different projects and subjects. So it's really like in the 1990s when you have a brilliant mathematicians that came out of schools and for the financial industry to build some algorithms and to improve tradings and to make more money. So that was kind of taking those brilliant minds and applying them to financial engineering, instead of maybe building rockets or making batteries and so on. So what we're seeing is that a lot of the engineering and science and scientists are still going through this like web app, SaaS, and not building hardcore technology, and so things are changing little by little because and again, the Tesla example is interesting because what Elon Musk is doing is really hard. And I'm not talking about the electric car because EV, that's done. Anyone can do it, but it's really the AI, the self-driving car. This is very hard. And or what he's doing with SpaceX, you're sending a rocket and then you can reuse it and it just lands by itself. This is hard. So we're seeing more and more of those young, brilliant engineers wanting to do hard things because they want to change the world. They want to really. So yes, we're seeing it's not enough, and a lot of that research is being funded by the U.S. government through NSF, National Science Foundation grant from the DARPA, the Army, the defense, sorry. And funded by other countries. So in Germany, you have a lot of investment in obviously chemistry and physics, same things in France and China, and so yes, that's academic is not it's coming back, but it's not the thing that is driving the innovation in terms of clean tech.
You just mentioned DARPA because the military sector, or the, let's say, the defense sector, is one of the roots of the Silicon Valley, or one of the roots of the success of the Silicon Valley. So many people don't even remember that, and it's been 30 years or something ago. There was basically the main players were Lockheed Martin there. Is that correct?
Yeah. It was the military complex here in.
So Moffett Field, I think this was one of the main research areas down there in the valley.
Yeah, still there, and NASA is operating there.
Yeah, but as far as I understand, there's no real, let's say, innovation in terms of, let's say, the green tech sector to expect from like the defense area. I got that, but I wanted to wrap up a little bit towards energy technologies, so to say. For example, the solar thing, and you mentioned that there were eager plans a few years back. They failed, and they couldn't really materialize in a business model, in a scalable business model. So overall, I want to just briefly talk about the solar thing, because I don't really remember seeing a lot of solar when I left the valley. That's a number of years ago. But overall, there was like, for my understanding, and we talked about this yesterday with Matthias, it's been like a love-hate relationship with the solar thing. And Matthias just mentioned yesterday that right now there is the understanding for many people in the valley or in California that solar panels are just for, or basically solar energy is just for rich people. Do you share that?
No. Well, no. It's for homeowners. And
who owns a house in Silicon Valley? If you own a house,
yes.
You're really rich.
Yes. So that's okay. It's not for the 1%, but it's true that with homes in Silicon Valley going from $1 million plus,
and the people sorry to interrupt, and the people in East Palo Alto, they cannot afford a house, so they can even not afford solar panels.
Yes. So and that's just a caveat. So if you're a homeowner, knowing that the home belongs to the bank until you fully paid for it, so you're not yet a millionaire, then there's a lot of incentives in California, in the Bay Area, where to basically incentivize, giving you tax incentive, I mean, on the federal level as well. So there is this, I mean, to incentivize to have a panel on your roof. But yes, as if you're, I would say this one last thing is that with the Biden administration, when Joe Biden came, he said he will invest $2 trillion in clean.
I can't hear you, JB. I think we lost you, Jean-Baptiste. Can you hear me, JB?
Tech. So
I think we lost the connection to. Can you hear me, Jean-Baptiste?
Yeah, I can. Yes. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, you cannot see me.
Yes, here you are.
Yeah. Great. So yeah, just the last thing. I mean, it was about the Biden investment of $2 trillion in clean energy, in clean and renewable energy, clean tech in general, and really one of the things that changed in the past, before during the Donald Trump years, is that when he left the Paris Accord, that was when this consciousness maybe was left a little bit, and people were less focus on clean tech, and we're more focused on fossil fuels, shale gas, and other technology, because that was the focus then. Now Joe Biden is taking us back to the Paris Accord, and investing $2 trillion in clean tech. So I think,
we'll hope for the best, right?
Yes, and one of the things, one of the things we say here in Silicon Valley, just follow the money. So, and
well,
$2
it's
trillion.
basically there's like this saying, like follow the money, show me the money, take the money and run, something like that.
Yes. It all works.
I know too well. Yeah. So Jean-Baptiste, we're basically running out of time. We could talk for forever. I just have like basically a last. I want to ask you for like a last comment. And you mentioned Elon, yeah, and he had, as you said, he had great stamina, and he was a really stubborn person, but he succeeded. Yes. Do we need another Elon to ride a successful wave for Cleantech 3.0 or 2.0.5 something? What do you think?
Well, I think what Elon did. It was not about building EVs. I mean, he said it when I interviewed him. It was not about, the goal is not to build an EV, even though there was basically no EVs when he started.
Rudimental.
Yes, when I mean, he didn't found Tesla, but when he took over from Tesla, with the Tesla Roadster, it was not about building an EV car. It was about the energy transition. It was about moving from fossil fuel to clean energy. And so really, I think, do we need another Elon? I mean, absolutely. We need hundreds, thousands. It's like if you ask me, do we need another Leonardo da Vinci?
Or Steve Jobs? Do we need another Steve Jobs?
Steve Jokes? No, is that a joke? No, sorry. No. Yes, I mean, it's we need visionaries, people who can abstract themselves from what's today and really take themselves to the future. And yes, we need dreamers, and visionaries, and we need people who are really who don't give up, and that and I think that was the difference with Elon. He was ready to lose everything. And there are very few people who are ready to just lose everything to succeed. And I think that's really the mentality here in Silicon Valley. You're ready to, either it's the Uber guys, and even Steve Jobs, when he was ready to do anything to get Apple started. Yeah. So
but basically, it takes guts to succeed, right?
Yeah, and it takes really a new mindset. It's okay to fail.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you need to fail to succeed. No, but it's okay.
And that's a good message to, let's say, people watching us today. We see a lot of entrepreneurs and young startups that actually follow what we're doing here. This is an innovation hub here in Baden-Württemberg. Well, thank you so much, Jean-Baptiste. As always, inspiring talking to you. Wish you all the best. I hope we can reconnect very soon after the crisis thing is over. Say hi to everyone over there. We miss you. And again, thanks again for an inspiring conversation.
All right. Thank you.
Ciao. À bientôt.
Bye-bye.